Welcome back to the channel. I'm Taylor Thrasher. We're gonna get down on episode 5 of GB&R. The kids are napping, so I'm being kind of quiet. We're gonna make spaghetti and meatballs my way. We're gonna use fresh basil, shallots, garlic. We'll start everything off by slicing and dicing our shallots, cutting up our onion, smashing and dicing up our fresh garlic. Then we gotta start preheating our pot so we can make our sauce. We'll start preparing the other stuff for the sauce, like getting the tomatoes, the tomato paste ready, cutting up the basil. The pan is hot. I have avocado oil. I don't really like cooking with olive oil because you're not supposed to heat it up. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in the bottom. That way we can start sauteing the shallots, the garlic, and work on our sauce. We'll also add half of that yellow onion, let that start sweating down with the shallots. Season them with a little bit of salt to start building flavor. Add the garlic, mix that in for a second. We'll throw in some basil. This step takes patience. We're layering the flavors. We're letting the onions and the shallot get soft. We're letting the garlic get golden brown. We're waiting to add the tomato paste. We'll get it in there, but you can't rush it as much as I want to. All right, it's been several minutes. Several long minutes. You can see the garlic is starting to get golden brown. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. We're gonna let that cook down as well. Now we'll go in with the San Marzano tomatoes. Just break them up with your spoon. Let this cook for a minute on its own, and then we'll put about half a can of water in here. All right, I got about a third of a can of water instead of a half. Add that in there. Forgot, got a little bit more basil, we'll add that. Might add some more basil, maybe some dried parsley later too, along with more salt. And I would be adding red chili flakes, but I told my kids I wouldn't make it spicy, so what are you gonna do? Sauce is bubbling, but now we gotta focus on the meatballs. It wouldn't be a GB&R episode without GB. So we've got a pound of ground beef and a big metal bowl. We're gonna mix all of our ingredients together. So start with the beef. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the other half of this yellow onion and we're gonna grate it with a cheese grater. This cheese grater is not really giving me the result that I want. Let's try this one. All right, I think this is better. There we go. We also need a microplane for 2 cloves of garlic. So we're gonna take our garlic, we'll grate our garlic just like we grated our onion, but we'll go straight into the bowl this time. Also get the onion in the bowl and more chopped basil. Then glove up like we do around here and give it a mix. We're not using Italian sausage or hot sausage or pork or veal or nothing else, dude. Just ground beef. We're keeping it simple. We're still weightlifters. We're still trying to build our bodies. Most of us are trying to watch our calories. We're not trying to add a super fatty cut of meat or anything crazy to this. We're keeping it simple. Pro tip, before you start mixing the meat, make sure that you have a tray laid out so you don't need to freshen up your gloves or wash your hands or whatever you need to do. We'll just start making meatballs out of this meat mixture. Go for like a golf ball size deal. I didn't put any binder in here like breadcrumbs or anything, so I'm actually not 100% sure how they're gonna turn out. I think it's gonna be fine, especially if we sear them. Just shape them, be gentle with them. We'll see how it works out, searing them on all sides in a pot in just a minute. I'm gonna get out a few things. Number 1 is my other heavy bottom pot. Number 2 is this bad boy so that we can start boiling some water for our noodles. I'm gonna sear the meatballs in here. I'll pop them in with the sauce and let them simmer to fully cook because the sear isn't gonna cook them all the way through. We'll get our pasta going. I'll tell you what kind of pasta we're gonna use in a minute. I'm actually gonna play musical pots here because this is my smallest burner. I want this to be able to simmer, and it's on my biggest burner right now, so it's pretty much just boiling away. I'll actually do this. That way the 2 small ones, the big one. All right, we're mathing. There we go. Let that sucker simmer. Fill this up with water. Let's sear these meatballs. Once again, tiny bit of avocado oil. I don't usually cook with a lot of oil, but I don't want nothing sticking to this pan. Woo! Good thing it's got a high smoke point. Ooh, I'm turning on the fan. Do not preheat your pan this much. This is too much preheat going on. We're just gonna roll these puppies around because we're gonna try and sear them on all sides. Kinda, I don't know. Just saying that because I couldn't get those first ones to flip all the way over. Ah. Come on, you delicate meatballs. There we go. So after more deliberation and at her recommendation, I'm gonna just bake the meatballs because what, you think they're gonna break apart in the sauce?
Yeah, sometimes if they don't have like a stabilizer in them, they can fall apart, which is still good. You get a meat sauce, but if you want a meatball, then I would recommend putting them on a sheet tray and baking them.
I want balls, and yeah, I didn't put any bread. I didn't put any binder in there except for the eggs, so got them seared. Can you take this one, get her out of the way? I'm gonna grab the pot, put it here, and then I'll load up the tray.
Yep.
Thank you.
Smells amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad. Get out of the way, little one.
Hot pot.
Oh yeah. They look phenomenal though, I will say. Got a good amount of color on here. I'm just gonna put them in at 350 for minutes. When I find out after I'm done how long it takes. I'm just gonna cook them until they're like 140, 150, something like that internal temperature, since they're ground beef. That one might even be done. The reason I'm putting them up on a rack is so that some of the fat can even drip off of them. Like you can even see there's a bunch of rendered fat here. The fat's dripping off onto the pan below the rack. That way, they're gonna be even leaner. And we can stay shredded. All right, these bad boys are done. I just checked them. They're actually a little bit more well done than I would like. 165, but that's okay. Look at that, dude. That's how we do GB&R for real. As far as noodles go, we're gonna use these, what is this? Tinkyada brown rice pasta. I love this brand of brown rice pasta. This is the spaghetti. So we're gonna use 1 serving, which is 2 ounces of dry pasta, 56 grams. We're gonna weigh it out on the food scale, make sure we know exactly what we're getting, because we track macros around these parts. It ain't that much either. It's actually kind of sad. When you start weighing and measuring your food out and figuring out what the serving size actually looks like, hate to admit it, but you're gonna be disappointed. So it said 56 grams. This is a little bit more difficult than I remember it being in previous pasta escapades. Okay. 74, geez Louise. Told you it was gonna be sad. 56 grams, right there. It's about the size of a penny. Penny's worth of noodles. So we'll take that, we'll put it in our boiling water. Okay, I think we're ready to put together a bowl. Take my noodles, strain them out. Look at that, that's 1 serving of noodles. I know it's sad. Get an awesome ladle full of this sauce. Look at the basil, look at the basil. Almost like a professional did it. Just put it right there. And then with my bare hands. Oh, dude, look at that. Look at that. If we want to church it up even more and we're not concerned with calories, we'll go for a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Oh my gosh. And a little bit of parsley flakes. There you have it, guys. GB&R, episode 5. We got the brown rice pasta, the homemade sauce, the meatballs. What I would do if I was actually fixing to eat this right now, I would measure out the noodles like I did. I would get these meatballs, I would put them on a scale, I would weigh them, I would treat them as like 88-12, 90-10 ground beef, put it into MyFitnessPal. Probably wouldn't do as much Parmesan cheese, but that's just me because I'm looking to stay shredded. If it's wintertime where you're at and you're trying to bulk up, use even more Parmesan, triple, quadruple the meatballs, double the amount of noodles. I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate you sticking around. I'm having a lot of fun with this. GB&R, baby.